Imagine you're driving down the highway and you've been to a barbecue with your friends and some other kids, and your kids are in the back seat, and you're just on your way home and you get pulled over. Your kids are getting scared. There's flashing lights. You get scared after you've done the sobriety test and fail. What do the police officers do about your kids? Well, I can tell you, after spending 8 years on a child abuse prevention council, this came up more than once. And what happens is the officers will make some phone calls and try to find the other parent. So right away, the other parent finds out that you were endangering your children. Of course, this is going to come up in the family courts. The judicial officers deal swiftly with parents that put their children at risk. And by being under the influence and driving, you put your kids in danger, and they're going to deal with it swiftly. So what about your children? They're in the back seat and they're scared. What happens? They can't get a hold of the other parent. Maybe there is not another parent in the picture. Maybe the other parent lives states away. What's going to happen? Well, they're going to call child welfare services. And there's an emergency number, and the police officers may have to wait hours for someone from child welfare services to come and get the kids. If child welfare services can't identify a suitable relative in the area to place the kids with, the children get placed in emergency foster care. Can you imagine your parents taken away and then you have been placed with a stranger? This is absolutely terrifying for our children. Please, parents, this is one of the most important pieces of advice you will ever get about parenting. Don't drink and drive or do substances that impair you when you're with your children. You will be placed by the judicial officers charged with taking care of your children on supervised visitation. What does that look like? If you want to see your kids or spend time with them, you're going to have to drive to a place where you pay a lot of money to be monitored and make sure that you're a safe parent for your children. Even after you've proven rehab and moved on, you're very likely to be placed on alcohol monitoring or drug testing. There's facilities where you have to go and report within hours of being summoned to provide blood or urine samples for drug testing. Again, this is not something you want to go through. So if you have a substance abuse issue, it's time to deal with it, especially if you're in a high conflict divorce situation. Please don't put your children at risk, and please don't put them through the pains of something like this. This also comes up frequently when you're going through a custody evaluation, or the parents are doing pleadings with the court on who should have the most custody time with the children, or that one parent is just not even suitable to have custody of the children. They are going to bring up issues of you drinking or using substances or blacking out, or maybe drinking with the children in the car, even if it hasn't been proven, the officer didn't pull you over and make an arrest. You've got a big burden of proof to prove to evaluators, judicial officers, that this isn't what really occurred. It's difficult, and the judicial officer is going to err on the side of caution, especially the younger that the children are, the more caution they're going to take. It's very likely that a parent will be placed on monitoring. There's companies like SoberLink that send you a message, and then you have a certain amount of time, a few minutes, to blow into a device to prove that you haven't been drinking. This is difficult for everyone. It's not something you want to go through. It's better to be proactive. So what if your former spouse brings up the issue of past usage, or to admit, like, I did have an issue, I dealt with it, and this is what the outcome is. I'm attending weekly meetings, I'm getting help, I'm doing therapy, I'm on monitoring, whatever it is. It's better to be honest, because it's not something that you're going to be able to hide from a judicial officer or an evaluator. It's going to come up, especially if your former spouse or partner knows about the issues. There's many other times where in a high conflict situation, custody battles, alcohol or substance abuse is raised, and a parent might write it in their pleadings for reasons that they should be given full custody of the children. They may ask for supervised visitation, or they may ask for supervised visitation with just a relative like a grandparent or somebody nearby to make sure that the other parent is sober and capable of taking care of the children. Um, Parents will sometimes raise this before an evaluation or a mediation or in a court hearing, and it depends on the age of the children. But what I've seen is that judicial officers err on the side of being extremely conservative the younger that the children are. And this is because the children can't stand up and say, hey, mom, you've been drinking, I'm not getting in the car with you. They're young and they don't have a voice. And so you're more likely to be placed on supervised visitation, alcohol monitoring, or drug testing when the children are younger. And unfortunately, sometimes parents raise this and make an issue out of it when it's not really an issue. Like one drink before bed, after the kids are in bed, you're not doing anything to endanger them. But I've seen parents where one parent is making an issue of the other parent having 2 beers after the kids are in bed. Good point. If they're alone with the child, they've had a couple beers, do they pass out? It just depends on what their tolerance is and everything. I personally would not take a chance and consume substances if it's an issue with the other parent. And sometimes I've seen in parenting plans it actually written in there that neither parent will use substances in the presence of the children. And that gives the other parent a assurance or a hope that you're more likely to be safe for the kids and with the kids. Now, obviously, if it raises to the level of a substance abuse problem, it's going to go deeper than that. And it really depends on the specifics of your situation, what's going to be the likely outcome. So do consult therapists in your area to get help and guidance on if you do have a problem or what you should be doing. Consult a attorney in your jurisdiction that is well aware of some of these issues and can advise you. And just take all the precautions you can to put your children first. Really, why would you need a beer when you're with the wonderful, beautiful light of your life? Enjoy them. Take time for them. Now, if both parents have issues with substance abuse, what I have seen is judicial officers finding a temporary solution and looking for which parent is going to step up to the plate, clean themselves up, and care for the children. And yes, I had clients that successfully did that. They may have had alcohol monitoring on their car, they may have had drug testing, but they started attending AA meetings. They did everything they could to put their life back together, work hard, make a happy home for their kids, and make sure that they stayed clean so that they could care for their kids. So just because you have a history of that or have used substances or had been an alcoholic doesn't mean that you are necessarily not a suitable parent. The officers are going to look for what have you done to clean yourself up, and what is the quality of the care that you can give your child now. That's really important. So I hope this has been what I intend it to be, is a very stern warning that this isn't something that you want to do. It's not a risk worth taking. With your kids now, focus on them. Take care of them. Make sure they're safe. Don't endanger them. Find out the risk and make the right decision. And if you're on the other side of it and you're concerned about what's going on with the other parent, of course, speak up and try to get them to get the help that they need so that they can be a safe space for their children. I know you're a great parent. I know you care. Subscribe so that you'll receive notice of future videos and updates. Thank you. Have a great day.